good with your fam? Hey, listen, man. It's Freaky Friday, baby, and welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. Hey, man, listen. First off, I want to welcome everybody to the channel, and like I always say, fam, if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Now look, Mikey Garcia, everybody trying to hit the jackpot, man. The jackpot right now is in the welterweight division is Manny Pacquiao. Every welterweight and their mama want to fight Manny Pacquiao. You know, Mikey Garcia threw his name in the hat, man, and you know he been trying to get that fight. Manny Pacquiao, Team Pacquiao showed a little interest in fighting Mikey Garcia. You know, they showed interest in fighting Terence Crawford. You know, from what I'm hearing, Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao are real close to making a fight. You know, and you know, just a week or two ago, Manny Pacquiao's trainer, Freddie Roach came out and said that Manny still wants to be great. Manny still is hungry, and that Manny might be moving up to 160. I mean, not 160, but willing to move up in weight, some type of catch weight, and face Gennady Golovkin. Now, I made a video about this the other day, man. I took it as, you know, Freddie Roach just blowing smoke, you know what I mean? But this thing has got a little bit of legs on it now. You know, people are starting to talk about this more and more. And I heard an interview with Leo Santa Cruz saying that he thinks Manny Pacquiao can beat Triple G. How realistic is that? You know, is it realistic for Manny to go in there and out hustle a Triple G? Manny's faster than him. You know, Triple G has slowed down tremendously. But then you gotta look at, you know, Triple G, his chin is of granite, man, and he punches hard. He's a master. I mean, a master at cutting off the ring. You know what I'm saying? Man, I think once Golovkin touched Manny a few times, man, I think Manny would fold up, man. But you know, as far as him dominating Crawford, I think, you know, Mikey's just a little bit bitter. You know, Mikey knows that Crawford and Pacquiao are very close to, you know, possibly signing the fight, and he wanted that fight, and he ain't getting it, and Crawford is. So he a little bit bitter, man. So he said Manny dominates Crawford. What do you think? You think Manny dominates Terence Crawford? I think it's a real good fight. I think Manny has the potential to dominate anybody. You know, Manny showed, especially if there's no VADA testing. You know, not accusing Manny of anything. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people speculate that during the Keith Thurman fight, Manny Pacquiao was definitely on some performance enhancement. You know, that's what some people are saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not accusing Manny of nothing. I do gotta say he has not been caught with anything in the system ever. But the rumors have been around boxing circles for many years that Manny Pacquiao was on something, man. And if you look at the fight with Lucas Matisse, you look at the fight with Adrian Broner, and then you look at the fight with Keith Thurman, you got to admit there was a very, very big difference in the performance of Manny Pacquiao. You know, Broner, he did a good job. You know what I'm saying? He definitely did a good job. But I thought that, his legs, he looked a little bit slower. I thought that he had lost a step in that fight. Same thing with the Matisse fight before that. But with Keith Thurman, man, Manny was working on all cylinders, man. You know what I'm saying? Manny was working on all cylinders. Now, that could be due to the fact that, people get up for different opponents. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in the boxing world really takes Adrian Broner seriously. They think Adrian Broner is, partying too much, not 100% focused on the sport of boxing. And, maybe he just didn't get up all the way for Adrian Broner. But Keith Thurman, you got a chance to be a welterweight champion again, man. That's going to give you some extra motivation. You know what I mean? And, that may be what happened in that fight. You know what I'm saying? I think that a fight between Manny and Terence would be a very, very interesting fight. I would say it's a 50-50 fight. Even at 41, Manny Pacquiao still presents danger when he steps in that ring. When we see Crawford, as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. But then one may criticize and say, if he's getting hit with clean shots from Igis Kavalauskas, you know what I mean? What will Manny Pacquiao do? So that's something to think about, man. You know what I mean? That's something to think about. Terence Crawford is hungry. And I think for a Manny Pacquiao fight, he would get all the way up for that fight. You know what I mean? He may not have been able to get up for Igis Kavalauskas, or may have, slept on Igis Kavalauskas, just thinking he was going to be a walk in the park, or maybe, Bud ain't what people think, man. But I do think Bud is that dude. You know what I mean? He is my #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. But up against Manny, man, I think it will be a very, very good fight. Way better than a lot of people are thinking. I think it will be a back and forth matchup, and it all comes down to who will be able to make the adjustments out of Manny and Crawford, man. I would love to see that fight. We'll see if it gets made, but I'm leaning towards that it won't get made. I'm leaning towards that it's a bunch of nonsense because of the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? That fight would bring a very significant gate revenue, and without it, will they still put the fight on? Crawford's already on record saying that he's not taking less money. He's not taking a pay cut. You know what I mean? So where they gonna get the money from? To pay, man. Manny Pacquiao gonna want a bag. So I don't see this fight happening, at least anytime soon, man. They would have to get a big venue, where they can space out the crowd, pretty good, and do something like that, you know what I mean? But other than that, I don't see Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford in a unification fight fighting without a crowd. I just don't see it, Top Rank put on a good show last night, fam. Adam Lopez, man, he went up against Correa out of the Robert Garcia gym. Correa started fast, man. He started fast, and he was hitting hard. He was, strong, man. And I was a little worried about Adam Lopez, man, because I know how much this fight meant to him, man. After coming off a winning loss to Oscar Valdez, I know that Adam Lopez wanted to he wanted to shine. He even said that he's going to shine on Correa. I know he wanted to, put out one of his best performances. But Correa came to fight, man. You know what I mean? He came to fight. Robert Garcia, man, he gets his fight, he gets in his fighters' heads, and he gets them to do what he wants them to do, and that's usually pressure, 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 hard shots, hard shots, hard shots. And we've seen it with McDonough, we've seen it with Josecito, and this dude Correa is nothing different. They all look the same. You know what I'm saying? Put that pressure on him, man, and he was doing a hell of a job. You know what I mean? Especially the first couple rounds. In the middle rounds, Lopez, he was able to make the adjustments, man. He started working his jab, popping his jab out there, man. He started turning. You know what I'm saying? That turn was pivotal, man, to his success during the middle rounds. You know what I mean? He would get off and then he would turn, so Correa couldn't fire back at him. He wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? He was not there. That was a good fight, man. Correa shut both of Lopez's eyes. I'm sure right now today, both of his eyes are completely shut. He can't see right now. They were almost shut during the fight. So if you look at the two faces, you would think that Correa won, but he won a majority. Lopez won a majority decision. I believe it was 96-94 two times and 95-95, something like that. But yeah, that was a good fight. In the main event, man, Jesse Magdaleno went up against what's his name? Yonzel Vicente. Vicente, from the Dominican Republic. He came in there, man. He came in there, I think, overly cautious. You know what I'm saying? He started the fight overly cautious, and he ended up getting dropped early. Then he tried to be overly aggressive, and he started playing. He started fighting dirty because he was embarrassed that he got knocked down. Lost a couple points for low blows, and got dropped again later on in the fight. Magdaleno showed a lot of poise, a lot of patience, and a lot of ring generalship, man. Because that shot where Vicente hit him low, and then the referee called break, Magdaleno relaxed up, then Vicente punched him, dropped him. He looked like he was out for a minute or two. A lesser fighter would have packed it up and quit right there. So hats off to Magdaleno, because he still showed the party. He still showed the people that he was there to fight. He wasn't there to just collect a check. He was there to make a statement, and he definitely showed his grit, definitely showed his toughness. But he wasn't able to get Vicente out of there. I think if he would have pressed the action more, if he would have been more aggressive, he would have been able to get Vicente out of there, man. But I do think that shot after the break, that nut shot and the shot after the break, which seemed to knock him out, I think that took a lot out of him, you know what I mean? And he never, fully got to 100% after that, you know what I'm saying? And, he was just fighting on instinct and fighting on will, but it was a decent matchup, man. Top Rankers definitely got June on lock on ESPN. They got some fights coming up next week. I'm looking forward to seeing those fights. I just wanted to jump on here real quick, a little morning flavor for the fam. You know what I'm saying? But if you're on social media, check me out on Twitter, on Instagram at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. Even on Facebook, man. You know what I mean? Facebook, I'm on there too. Big Faces Worldwide. Hey, man, yeah. We're going to try to get on here live later on this evening for the Boxing Blast. I got some, a real good show planned for this evening. So